Welcome to Heated Conversations. This is the new podcast for iHeat. We've got Ben. Ben is our relationships manager.
I am.
But you're also a qualified engineer, gas safe.
For my sins.
You know the stuff. You know the stuff. You've been off the tools a while.
I know some of the stuff.
You know all the stuff.
I know enough stuff to get me by.
Right. So how long have you been off the tools for?
Been off the tools for maybe 4 or 5 years now, something like that. And then prior to that, I was an engineer about 10 years. I spent maybe 3 or 4 of that doing installations, and then probably 5 or 6 after that doing a lot of maintenance and breakdown stuff like that. So I was working for Scottish Power amongst others, doing a lot of breakdown, a lot of broken boilers and stuff.
A lot of funny stories, I'm hoping.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah?
1 or 2.
That's what I'm hoping for.
1 or 2.
You've now come to iHeat. You're quite new. It's good to get you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Let everyone know who you are. You're in a band?
I am, yes.
Yes.
So I'm in a band called Waterlines, which is just, local to us. It's it's good.
If anyone wants to hear about that, we're going to go into a bit more about Ben at the very end. Just for those who might be interested, might like his personality. We don't want to bore you with, all Ben stuff if you aren't. We want to keep you
off by then.
We'll keep you watching. So at the end, we'll go over Ben's band. He's on tour tomorrow.
I'm on tour tomorrow. I'm going on tour on Wednesday.
By the time this has been approved, and now it could well be tomorrow.
It could well be.
Anyway,
I might be back.
I hope so.
I'll tell you all about it.
We're going to start with funny stories, or a story, a memorable story from your time on the tools.
All right, fair enough. Well, it's not particularly funny as such, but I think one of the most interesting things that happened to me on site, we were doing a refurb on a bungalow, pretty local to here, to be fair, probably only 5-10 minutes up the road. And what we needed to do in this property was the previous owner had unfortunately passed away, and the son had taken ownership of the house, and he was getting it all sort of set up and stripped out and ready to sell on. Yeah. So we needed to go in there. Now they'd almost stripped out this house, but not completely. There was still a few items of sort of bigger furniture in there and stuff like that. But so what we were doing was completely stripping this system out, every radiator, all the pipe work, boiler, everything. So full system getting installed. So I was there with an apprentice. We were there for about 3 or 4 days, something like that. And then so we'd stripped out, and then we were looking to put the new pipe work in and everything. So we were running with it being in a bungalow, oftentimes what you'll do is you'll run the flow and return pipe work up into the loft of the bungalow, and then you'll drop down into the different
houses, different rooms.
To the different rooms, yeah.
I know my things. I know a few things.
You know a thing or two about engineering, don't you, mate? So we were dropping down. And so we were actually dropping down in it wasn't really a built-in wardrobe, it was just kind of a built-in cupboard in this one room. But there was like a dresser in there. So we pulled this.
Was she a cross-dresser?
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. That's the tone. That's the tone set. Thank you.
She pulled the dresser out.
So it was just it was like a large cupboard in the corner of the room, and then in this cupboard was a little sort of dresser, chest of drawers sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we needed to get into the corner, so we pulled this dresser out, and me and the apprentice moved it out, took it out of the way. And then underneath this dresser was a shoebox.
Oh, dear.
Now, it's probably really naughty, actually. We probably shouldn't have done it, but the apprentice was lifted. I'm going to say it was the apprentice.
Yeah.
The apprentice lifted the top off this shoebox, and we found a gun.
No way.
Like a full, like a pistol.
Yeah.
In this video, it had a magazine in it and everything, and we found this gun.
Crikey.
We put the top on the shoebox, and we never mentioned it again because God only knows where that came from. But apparently, so the guy whose house it was, who had passed away, apparently he was he was in the army. He was a bit of a war veteran and stuff. Okay. So I can only assume that it was
hopefully from that and
not anything.
If you didn't do the job, you were getting shot.
Spurious.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it was quite cool.
Didn't expect that. I thought it'd be a bit more like you found some dodgy stuff or a dead bird or something like that.
I mean, I've found plenty of dodgy stuff. I was taking out a gas fire once, and this gas fire had clearly been out of commission for months, if not years.
Right.
Like it was full of rubbish, and it was really, really poor state of repair. So we were taking it out so that whoever came in could plaster it over and
cover it up and forget about whatever's behind it.
So you take this fire off, and then behind the fire you've got what's called a closure plate, which is just like a sheet of aluminium tin that is just stuck over things. Start hearing something fluttering around inside. I hate birds. Birds is my big phobia.
Yeah.
I absolutely despise them. Took this closure plate off. There was an owl.
An owl?
There was an owl behind the closure plate. How it got in there, I don't know. How long it had been in there, I've got no idea. But this frigging owl was behind there. I just bolted out that house and just said, just get rid of that owl, and I'll come back when it's out. I hate it. Oh my God, I hate birds.
Really? I did not know that.
Yes.
Well, special guest all the way from the tree.
Yeah, they're a major problem for me.
That's mental.
And we did a youth centre in the Lake District once, and I was running pipe work in the loft. It was more of a crawl space and a lot of tiny in this youth centre, and that had bats in it.
Prefer them to birds?
No, strangely enough. Interestingly, though, with bats, they are...
Upside down.
I don't think they're endangered, but they're protected in some way. So if you find bats on site, you've got to stop. You've got to stop the job, get off and call someone from animal protection or something. I was quite young at the time. I don't know what you needed to do, but they're some sort of protected species, so we had to stop. And
But with owls, you can just boot the shit into them and leave them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. With owls, just... Get out of my face. I just used the
gun. Just feathers everywhere.
Gone.
Crikey. I didn't expect that kind of story, no. You've got a few rambled off.
I think when you spend so much time in and out of various different customers' houses and so on, you see a lot of see a lot of different stuff. Yeah, you see a lot of different stuff. Some is safe for a podcast and others aren't.
I do want to keep the podcast open for both engineers, apprentices, and customers for iHeat as well. It's what we want to get into. That's why I think funny stories like that are a great way to introduce it. Engineers can go a bit like, I remember I found a bat once, or an owl, or a gun, I don't know. Yeah. But customers can sort of get a bit of a kick out of it, but also to benefit engineers, apprentices listening, and customers as well. I want them to learn stuff as well. So very quickly, like we will try and do on every episode, to get some sort of value out of it and some information, I want to cover a certain topic. Okay. Very, very briefly, really. So, as I said, you're new to iHeat.
Yeah.
And so is a Magna Cleanse.
Oh, okay.
We've brought that onto the site now. I want to talk about what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a type of flushing. It's a flush.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with what is a flush.
Okay, so in its absolute basest form, a heating system is metal pipework carrying water. Yeah. Put metal and water together, the metal will rust, it'll degrade over time, and these little flakes and bits of debris and muck and we call it sludge.
Iron oxide.
Absolutely. So that will build up in your pipework over time. It will stick itself in really awkward places like fittings and valves, and what it does is builds up into a sort of triangular pyramid shape in the middle of your radiators, and you get cold spots in your radiators. This happens over a long period of time, so the best thing to do is to sort of relatively infrequently drain down, flush your system out, and there are a couple of different ways of doing that. You can do it through a hot flush, which is just put a cleaner in your system, run it 30 to 60 minutes, something like that, flush it through all your radiators, and send it out the other side, fill it up with cold water and an inhibitor.
That's using the boiler's pump.
Yes, sorry, it
just
is.
To get the different levels of power and
absolutely.
aggressions, so how we measure it.
Absolutely. So that would just use the pump from your boiler. Similarly to the next step up from that, which is the Magna Cleanse. So again, that uses the pump from your boiler, and you connect on your Magna Cleanse unit, which has got these two black cylinders, which down the centre of them, you've got these relatively high-powered magnets. You will put the same cleaner in that you would use for a hot flush. There are more aggressive, more corrosive cleaners that you can use depending on the state of the system. You'll flush that around your system, and then you will use a tool called an agitator, which is like a little plastic disc that goes on the end of a hammer drill, and you'll go around the property and you'll agitate across the top of the radiators, across the bottoms of the radiators, free up all that debris, flush it through your Magna Cleanse unit, which will pick up a lot of that dirt, and then after a period of anywhere between sort of 45 and 90 minutes, again depending on how dirty it is and how poor the quality of the system water is, and then in a very similar way to the hot flush, you would then drain that out and fill it up with an inhibitor again. So it's a really good option. It's a really good option.
You'd say it's you always refer to it as the middle ground between that and the power flush, because in basic terms, for customers wanting to know what a power flush is, it's just super powerful. It's a completely different standard of power compared to the Magna Cleanse.
Yeah, absolutely. So like power flushes, a lot of people have heard of power flushes. They're quite a common thing to be bandied around when you've got blockages in radiators and pipework and stuff like that. They're a really effective tool, and in certain circumstances, they are the only cure for
the only choice, the best way to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. The setbacks for power flushing is price. They're expensive. They are an expensive bit of kit. So you're talking £600 to £1,000 over and above. You know, depending on various different things, size of the system, who you go with, where you are in the world. But so when you're using the pump from your boiler, as you would with a hot flush or a Magna Cleanse or whatever, it's they pump at around 15 litres per minute, depending on the size of the pump. And a power flush can be anything up to 100 litres per minute. It's a lot more powerful. It's about six times more powerful. Yeah.
So that must have some really bad disadvantages if it's a lot more power.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of myths about power flushing, that you put it onto your system's going to explode and there's going to be water everywhere. It's not that. But what you can find is if your system is already suffering with corrosion, which is oftentimes when you're looking for something like a power flush, and you've got maybe rusty radiator valves, maybe got a drip from one of your radiators or something like that, it can certainly make stuff like that worse. If there was maybe a weak fitting or something like that, you could potentially cause a leak that wasn't there before. In the worst case scenarios with small microball pipework or a really poorly degraded fitting or something like that, it can pop fittings. You can cause issues. Again, that's not to put anybody off power flushes. They're incredibly effective and a really good bit of kit. All I would say that if you are looking to get a power flush, if you've got a real problem with blockages, make sure you get some advice first. Get someone out to your property. Speak to us or speak to your local heating engineer or whatever. Get someone to come and have a look. Get someone to give you the best advice possible, just to ensure that you're getting the right product for your property.
Yeah, of course. As we say with any flush, there's no 100% guarantee.
Unfortunately not.
We're going to flush every single ounce of stuff out, because like you say, they're solid. Some of them can be forming onto your radiator, onto the pipework. It can become part of the system, as bad as it is.
Yeah, it depends on a lot of different factors, but ultimately, in the worst case scenario, this sludge can solidify over time, to the point you take your radiator off the wall, cut it in half and hit it with a hammer, and you still wouldn't get all that out of there. It's just, it's just, as I say, this is why it's worth getting advice, because there are so many different factors involved that we'd never get through in a podcast.
Of course not. No.
That's what your friendly local heating engineer's for.
Yeah, definitely. Reach out. We have customer service team. You can call them anytime. Any questions? Ben might even be on the end of the phone.
You never know.
You never know.
I might feel like doing some work that day. It does happen.
Recently for me, I've been doing a lot of the boiler reviews, learning about the different boilers.
Yeah.
There's quite a few new models out for this year.
Yeah.
We've got one from Alpha. Yeah. Behind me even. If you're watching, you can see
the old NX. Yeah.
NX is on the wall. We've got new ones from Ideal, the Logic 2. Not to be confused with the Logic 1. And what would be if you had to get a boiler, let's say yours is just broken down, I don't know. You had to get one out of the new 2023 models. What are you going for? And why?
Interesting, because I actually know that there's a couple more coming out as well.
Oh, really?
Which will be out a little bit later in the year. So watch this space on that one.
We can come back and revisit.
Yeah, we can come back and revisit that one. Yeah, absolutely. For me personally, I'm a cheapskate. I'd get the Alpha. I'd get the Alpha. Listen, for what it is, do you know what? Right, so the Alphas are a price fighter. They're a relatively cheap and cheerful model. And I think that for the price that you pay for an Alpha product, it's got a stainless steel heat exchanger.
Yeah.
It's got a 10-year warranty. Mm-hmm. All the components inside are the same components that a lot of the other boilers use. The standard of fitting, specifically if you buy through iHeat, is the same as it would be with any other boiler. Yeah, absolutely. Right, you get your filter with it. We'll do the flushes that we've just been discussing. I'm not sure you can get much better value for money.
No, it's impressive that they can do it that high quality for so low cost.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
I do have to agree with you. If I had to go buy a new boiler and it was only out of the 2023 models, that's where I'm going.
Cheapskates unite.
It's definitely. I'd high five you, but I don't want to. Speaking of price wise, I always hear you in the office now. Now, everyone buy your boilers now. You're recommending me for my brother's house. Get it now whilst it's cheap. And I'm like, price, it's not like stocks. It's not going to go up and down and fluctuate like Bitcoin and something like that. What do you mean by it's cheap now? Or the best time?
So my personal ethos is buy boilers in the summer. Only because, so imagine, Easter eggs, okay?
Yep.
Buy them the day after Easter.
Cheapest chips.
Cheapest chips. Well, the heating industry is a seasonal industry. It always has been. It probably always will be. Because people, generally speaking, I'm guilty of it as well. You only think about your heating and hot water when it's cold. Yeah. When you need it. It's the old classic. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. Mm-hmm. Now, through the summer, you can almost get away with not having any heating for the most part of the summer.
Or shower.
Maybe not shower. Maybe not shower. You can always go to the gym. You know. Noticed your biceps are looking particularly pumped today.
It's one of them.
Yeah. But yeah, so a couple of factors. One, engineers will tend to be a little bit quieter through the summer,
right?
Because they're a seasonal business, so not everybody's clamoring for boiler installs right here, right now. So engineers will tend to be a little bit quieter through the summer. Yep. Which will mean a couple of things. I mean, one, you may well get a cheaper price through the summer.
Because they're needing the work and they're offering to do it at a bit of a less price to stand out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's certainly some things like that. I know that there are a lot of companies who run summer deals and things like that. And then certainly if you're your local engineer or us, for example, if we've got spaces that we need to fill, same as airplane seats, we'll potentially do them at a slightly lower price than we might otherwise do them. But also as well, stock availability. Again, just due to that seasonal element of the business, during the winter, boilers are flying off the shelves left, right and centre.
Yeah.
You might want a particular boiler, but they've all been bought the day before, so we need to. Absolutely. Now there are many occasions where that wouldn't be a thing. Like, so for iHeat, for example, we offer next day installation year round, but just make our lives easy, man.
Yeah, it's a cop out. Yeah,
absolutely.
No, I get that. Yeah, because everyone's not. Oh my God, my boiler's broken down. I'm going to shiver to death tonight. I need to pay extortionate prices to get it done straight away. We'll take whatever boiler we can get off the shelf. Yeah. Do it now. You can get a Worcester 8000, one of the hardest boilers to get your hands on these days. Yeah. You could probably get it the next day.
Absolutely.
It's a good time to buy. I do get that.
Absolutely.
And you're right. If your boiler does break down in the summer, God forbid, you ain't going to notice your radiators aren't on. You don't need them on sometimes. You have your doors open half the time. The windows are probably cracked open as we speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and I think that in a lot of properties, especially where you've got electric showers.
Yeah.
So if you've got an electric shower and you've got, I don't know, a dishwasher or whatever, and you might genuinely not notice that your boiler's broken down. You might just think, oh, my dishes aren't coming out as clean as they used to, or whatever. But if you just click a button on your shower, the only time you notice that your boiler's broken is when you actually need it, and then all of a sudden it's too late then, 'cause it's cold.
Yeah,
it's cold, and then all of a sudden you're on the phone to whoever saying, I need a boiler and I need one right now. And so you open yourself up to a lot of heartache. So I think that if your boiler is sort of getting to that 10-15 year old mark, just have a look at it, just make sure it's working all right, get it serviced.
Browse,
absolutely, have a browse around, see what's about, and just just a little bit of forward planning, I think, would do everybody a lot of good.
No, definitely. I appreciate the input there, and hopefully customers have got some out of that where they can maybe have a quick browse on different sites, see what boilers are out, go look at the Alpha and X. It's so cheap, you might as well do it every 100%.
Summer. Well, maybe not every summer.
To wrap up then, I said we go back about yourself. You know, you've shown some good characteristics, some charisma about yourself. You know, I like you.
That's nice of you.
So hopefully these will as well. So tell us about your tour, your band. What's going on?
Yeah, cool. So I am in a particularly heavy metal band.
Yeah.
We're going on tour this week. We're going to do Derby, Sheffield, Nottingham, Bristol, Birmingham. So we're going off on tour. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be excellent.
Yeah,
it's going to be really good.
So you're a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
Are you called the Boilers? Because you used to...
That's terrible.
You used to
That's
fit them.
the worst thing you've ever said. No, we're not. We're called water lines. Which kind of plumbing, right? Yeah. Yeah.
You're meant to be in this industry, aren't you? In both of them, music and boilers. Definitely.
Absolutely. Natural born performer, mate.
Yeah.
What can I say?
One last funny question then.
Go.
We're on about the Magna Cleanse before.
Okay.
I've seen it. Customers probably haven't seen it. It's quite a good visual side of it as well. When you do actually get the magnets out of the Magna Cleanse, you can see the build-up of the sludge, all that metal going on. It resembles some quite inappropriate stuff, but the gunk is horrible.
I can see where this is going.
How much would I have to pay you, or we could go GoFundMe on the page, for you to come to a job with me and we do the Magna Cleanse and you lick a bit of the gunk off the magnet? Just how much?
Right, I want a little bit of clarification.
Okay, just so you don't get signed up for something wrong.
So, yeah, absolutely. Let's set some parameters.
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't that kind of girl. All right. So, look, are we talking a tongue tip little like a tap, or are we talking top to bottom?
It's like a slur.
Oh God! Don't ever say that word again, you animal.
Okay, I want I want a chunk of the gunk to come off.
$5,000. $5,000.
That was less than I expected. I mean,
spit or swallow.
You can spit it out. It's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Swallow would be a lot more.
Yeah, $5,000.
Hopefully,
bit of mouthwash after, fine.
You wouldn't, from the boiler.
Just about it the next day, and
I'll
I'll just, I'll be laughing all the way at the bank, won't I?
And I'd be there shaking after. Yeah, great. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there. That's Heated Conversations.
You probably should.
Episode 1. Hopefully more of these to come. Leave some feedback in the comment section. Leave a like, subscribe if you're interested in this content. And cheers, Ben, for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck on the tour.
Cheers.
Maybe we'll do a little recap at the end. After you might come on again.
I might never come on.
There could be a new boiler. Right. Well,
I'm going to go live the rock style lifestyle,
and change your boilers. Your band name, sorry, the Boilers.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.